Beep, beep, beep. Hey! How's it going? Alan back again. I said I would do a gear video, and I was laying out all my gear to see where I'm at, to kind of take stock of everything, and I figured this would be a good enough time to go ahead and talk about the stuff that I've got. Still got a couple months, so if you got any tips or anything, I'd like to hear them. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and start looking at what I've got. Zoom. All right. So here's kind of a look. Don't mind the messy part of my room over here. I'm still getting everything packed up and ready for my go time. But here we have, kind of splayed out here, all the stuff that I have. So I'm going to start over here on the left side with the big stuff. First, my pack. What I have here is a Kelty Red Cloud 5600. Kelty. This is a pack. I've had this pack for 10 years, and it's held up pretty good over some trips. Nothing has ever failed on it. I've been really happy with it. It's probably a little bit heavier than most people would want. I see a lot of videos where people have, the super, like the Osprey packs, or the Z-Packs packs, or the different things, and they're all like super light for the same space. I think this pack weighs like 5 pounds, which whenever I say it out loud really hurts my soul because I'm trying to, like anybody, trying to cut the weight. But it's a really nice pack. Honestly, it holds everything and still has plenty of room. And it's something that I'm comfortable with. Like it's something that I've used long enough that it's like any pack you've had for a long time. It becomes like a good friend. And so this is a pack that it's the pack that I'll be using. If it's the pack that I finish with, that's still to be seen. But when I show up out there, it's what I'm gonna have. I got my little Lecky carabiner that came with my trekking poles, which is what I'm going to use for my food bag. Pack cover. Went ahead and got a matching Kelty pack cover for my Kelty bag. Swagalicious. Sleeping bag. So I have this inside of this Sea to Summit dry sack. I have a North Face Cat's Meow. It's a 20-degree bag, which is going to be pretty good. I used this most recently on a trip over Thanksgiving. Beautiful. Cat's Meow. It's a really nice synthetic bag. I'm pretty sure it's Polar Guard. Yeah, Polar Guard. I used this. I went with my family to Roan Mountain, up to Roan Mountain State Park over Thanksgiving. Amazing park. If you haven't been there, you ought to check it out. And it was really cold when we got there. The first night we were there, it was in the mid-20s, and we were camped out right next to the river there. And man, it got chilly, but I'll be honest with you, I was inside that sleeping bag and had zero problems. Zero. That's the number, 0. It was super warm. I mean, it's 20-degree bag, so obviously it's perfect for that. And I'm starting in April, so I think that's going to be fine. It'll probably be too hot fairly quickly, I am assuming, but I'll kind of deal with that to some degree. I don't mind opening it up and sleeping in fewer clothes, lighter clothes, or whatever if I need to. In case there is like a particularly bad night, I grabbed a silk liner. It's a rectangle, but I'll just stuff it in there. I'm not too worried about that. And I figure if it's maybe if it's warm enough, I can just use that, just sleep inside that liner, to be honest with you. on a nice night, I probably would sleep totally without any of it if I needed to, just on top of the bag. But we'll see. We'll see how I do with that. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with that right now. I'm always going to be open to changes. Thermarest, got my Ridge Rest. Had this guy for a decade. It's a 3/4. It's a 3/4 size, and I've been really comfortable with that. I usually for a day, like the first day that I'm out, I'm getting used to it again. But it only takes like a day, and then by the end of the second night, I've usually worn myself out enough that I really don't even care. And this thing is pretty comfortable. To be honest with you, I've slept some really good nights on this pad, so I'll be carrying that with me. Good old trusty Thermarest tent. This is a Eureka solitaire tent that I bought. I put it here as a placeholder. I'm not going to be bringing that. It's like a 3-pound tent. And to be honest with you, I'd been back and forth about it, but it really just does not have enough space at all. It'll hold me and it'll hold my stuff, but I think more and more about rainy days, of which there are it's obviously lots and lots if you've done any research whatsoever about the AT. Lots of rainy days. I don't necessarily want to be laying down all day on those rainy days. So this is a placeholder. I'm actually going to be buying a big Agnes tent, the Seed House, because it's a little bit cheaper. If I had I can get that for a couple $100 as opposed to like spending $300 or $400. If I can find like the Copper Spur or something like that for a little bit less, I might grab those. But the Seed House actually looks like a really nice tent. Looks like the one I want to get. I'm probably going to be ordering that right after I get done with this video, or tomorrow, one of the two. But that's not to say that this hasn't been a good tent. I actually this is the tent that I used. I got it right before we went to Roan Mountain and used it there for several days while we were out there, and it actually served me really well. It's just the space issue. I want something that I can actually kind of sit up in, and I think switching over to the Seed House, like that's going to save me a little bit of weight and a lot of headache, I think. So that's that. I'll keep it around. All right. So for the feet, got to take care of these bad boys, right? So they take care of you. I got these Brooks Cascadias. These are the 9s. I've never been in love with a shoe as much as I have these. These Cascadias are fantastic. Real quick, I just got to say something I highly suggest when it comes to your shoes. I read this a good bit, and prior to getting ready for the AT, I'd actually started running to get in better shape, anyways. And so I got some books about it because I'm kind of an all or nothing guy whenever it comes to these things. I just like dive into it. So I got a book and I was reading about running and everything, and started talking about, and it had this whole section about pronation and about whether your ankles roll in or roll out or whatever. When I was reading it, I got the whole like the house syndrome, where you've like, it's like you've got all this medical information and you start thinking, oh, maybe I do have lupus, but it's never lupus, anyways, you just start thinking, and saying, well, I'm running and I'm thinking about it. Is my ankle rolling in? It feels like it's rolling in right now. Or maybe it's rolling out. Maybe the whole time I've been thinking about this the wrong way. So I ended up going through a couple pairs of shoes, and I got plantar fasciitis. Not super bad, but like the beginnings of it. Like I don't have bone spurs or anything, fortunately, but it's all right. And man, I went to a local running store, and I had a friend of mine had gone there and gotten checked out. Had them look at his walk and check him for the type of pronation that he had or whatever. And he suggested I go there and talk to these guys, and I went there and they checked me out. I mean, it took this guy like a minute. And you mean, you could tell he'd been looking at this a lot. And actually, it turned out that this guy actually had been a big backpacker, was about to go on a trip to Patagonia with his wife on a backpacking trip, and I'm kind of jealous when we were talking about it, but I told him what I was doing, and he sat me down and showed me a couple of different pairs of trail runners, and these Cascadias he brought out, and as soon as he put them on me, they were exactly like they were the best shoe I've ever worn. I have really neutral feet, extremely neutral, and I didn't know that. And if you don't know that they make running shoes in lots of different ways, they make it for varying degrees of pronation or supination, and if you don't know what that is and you get the wrong ones, you're damning yourself to having just like the worst foot problems. I'm telling you, like, if you haven't had an issue with like plantar fasciitis, which is like a tendon kind of like, you know, tearing a little bit along like the center of your foot, it's not fun. It really, it doesn't feel good, and you just end up limping a whole lot, and you're gonna have to do lots of massages, and it takes a while to heal up if it does. Go and get it checked out. Talk to someone, even if you've already like made a selection, but you're just not really too sure. It's worth it just for peace of mind, I would say, to know that, to know what you're working with, so that you can make a more informed decision from the beginning, and maybe save yourself some pain on the trail. I took these Cascadias with me, also whenever I went up to Roan Mountain, and I tested a lot of gear that first time at Roan Mountain, and they were amazing. I've never felt so great. Walking in a shoe, hiking in a shoe. Had a pair of boots that I might have liked more once, but I'll tell you what, man, the freedom of the trail runners was amazing. I'll be preaching that with my dying breath until something better comes along. All right, so let's get back to this. Okay, so we got the Brooks Cascadias. I have the green Super Feet in there. They had a pretty nice little thin insole that came with them, but I love the green Super Feet, man. They really, boy, they give me the support that I'm really looking for, and it's nice because it's got the high arch. So whenever, after a long day of walking, when my foot starts to feel like it's kind of, then like that arch support, really, I can feel it kind of like massaging the inside of my foot. It feels great. Socks. Okay, after I've gone on that tirade about the shoes. Right here, I got two pairs of Darn Toughs, the Warlocks. They're a nice thin one, because I do like to have some breathability with my feet, and so I got two, so I can switch those out. And then I also have these sock liners. These are Fox River sock liners, but the sock liners, I learned it whenever I did a short stint in the military. I learned that sock liners are amazing. You can do a lot, and you can do a lot of miles in some uncomfortable shoes if you've got some sock liners to help keep you. Because this will help keep your feet from directly rubbing on the sock. It gives you a little bit of separation in there. So when these start sliding around in your shoe, this will be holding against your foot, and it'll keep from minimize those hot spots a little bit. But when I've worn liners, I almost never get blisters. So we'll see. I'm going to put that to the test on a much bigger scale, and we'll see how that pans out. Okay, my clothing. First and foremost, I got some ex officio draws. The sport mesh, and this is like the fuller length, I believe. They're full enough length that I don't chafe in them, and that's really pretty amazing, and they breathe really well. I've been using these when I run, and they feel amazing, so I'm into them. If they don't work out, whenever I actually get out there, I'll change that. I've said that a million times. I'll keep saying it. Okay, so I do have this synthetic shirt. and polyester shirt, and then I have these Climalite shorts that I got also for running. That I plan on bringing for hiking in when it gets warmer. Though we'll see how I feel about this, because these have actually been pretty good. I have this Under Armour. This is a polyester shirt. It's a long sleeve, but this is actually a really nice shirt. It's really thin. It breathes really well. I run a lot in this. I've used it all winter, and I have to roll the sleeves up on it sometimes. It does a lot to keep me warm. So I'll probably roll with this, and once I roll the sleeves up, it does an amazing job. If I need to switch out from that once it warms up significantly, then I'll have this. Also, on some days if I need to, I'll just have the short sleeve shirt and just use that. I'll put that over there on the warm stuff, because that's pretty much going to be over there. I got some trail pants. These are convertibles. Ooh, sexy pants. These are White Sierra. Yeah, think outside. White Sierra. Pretty nice. I've been wearing these a good bit as well. I haven't converted them, let my rag top down on them or anything. So I don't know how easy they are to work into and out of shorts mode, but as pants, man, they actually are pretty nice and breathable. Very comfortable, so I could see myself even in the dead of summer. I mean, I'm in southern Louisiana. I'm used to heat. I could see myself wearing those even on the hot days and being really comfortable. Except for this webbing belt, which I have a love-hate relationship with right now, and I'm probably going to cut off, to be honest with you. Just because I kind of have a wide hip base, and it makes me struggle to get in and out of. It's a little painful. I also have the Buff. Never had one of these before. I've been wearing it since I got it, and boy is it comfortable. So I'll probably be wearing that a lot, do-rag style. Alright, let's see. So, well, I guess I'll skip over here to my cold stuff real quick, since we're talking about clothes. These guys I just skipped over. These thermals, these are midweight thermals, the hot chilies. I brought these also. Hot chilies. I brought these with me to Roan Mountain, and they were amazing. Like I said, it got pretty cold, and actually, I hiked in these. I slept in them. They were never too hot. They were never too cold. They actually were always... They were my Goldilocks pants, just perfect. They were really nice. So, these guys will be with me probably the whole way. I love them to death, and when they die, I'll probably buy another set. These actually would be on me, except that it's been really hot here recently, unfortunately. So, got that. I'm going into kind of calling my camp clothes. I got a pair of wigwams, these like thick socks, for if it gets pretty cold and I need to keep my feet warm, keep my toes nice and warmed up. I'm a southern boy, I need that. I got these Crocs, nice light, everybody knows what those are. It's the first pair I've ever had, because I don't really like the look of them, but damn, they are pretty comfortable, I have to admit. Got my Arc'teryx. Caca, sort of, I think, maybe. Polar Tech. I actually bought this as a miscut for like $30 10 years ago, and I still have it, and it is still just as warm as the first day ever. It is Polar Tech, for whatever that means. I don't really know. I don't know the science. But I know that this thing is pretty comfortable. So that will be with me. And this is my Mountain Hardwear down jacket. It's the Microlight. I'm not going to one-hand unzip it right now, I don't think. Why not? Let me show my prowess off. Be impressed, people. Look how good I am at unstuffing this with one hand. Wow, it's like magic almost, except I can't really do it. Down jacket, it's black. It's warm. It's 650 fill for the tech heads. So it's like not, Arctic style, but man, I'll tell you what, it does a good job. Been happy with that so far. Worn it a lot. Alright, food system. So, I have this old, like Whisper Light / Pocket Rocket style. It, just opens up like that. I had this for over 10 years, and man, it works great. So, you can see it's nice and blued up. I've used it a lot. Still got a canister of fuel. It was in the pack, so I pulled it out. And I've got this little GSI Minimalist. This holds, I believe, 16 ounces. And it's got a nice little sippy lid. And it's got a little sleeve on the outside that you just pull off. And it's nice and light. This is actually going to be... I'm only going to use that for boiling water. That's the only thing I'm ever going to use it for. And the way that I'm going to do this, the way that I plan on cooking things is I'm going to use this pot to boil the water, and then this bag, which I got the idea from watching the Hiking Vikings. Hey, watch the Hiking Vikings. They're awesome. Nate and Sharon are hilarious. They seem like the most amazing people. Go check them out. Check their channel out. They're really cool, okay? I got this idea from him. They had it made for them. He was showing it off, and I said, that looks great. And basically, let me show you how this works. It's got, one of my pieces of Velcro came off. I'm going to have to fix that. That's just some cheap Velcro that I bought. Basically, what you do is you can Velcro it down, and in here, you just put your food in a Ziploc, boil your water, pour it down in there, mix it up. If you have two of them, pour it down in, mix it up, and then this is reflective material on the inside, as you can see. See, reflecting. It's a sunshade. I just bought a cheap sunshade from Advance Auto and trimmed it down and made this little pouch. So, what I'm going to do is cook the foods. This is going to be for dinner time. Probably for lunch and breakfast, I'm going to eat cold meals. I normally don't really even eat breakfast, but but when I do, honestly, a Cliff Bar is probably going to be more than sufficient. I'm not very picky about my food, and it'll just be filler to get me through to lunch, or at least till the next snack, which will be about an hour later. And so what I'll do at lunchtime, when I sit down to have lunch, I will boil up some water and make the little foods, get them ready to go, put them in here, close that off, pack it away, and then that way when I roll into camp, I don't have to worry about cooking food. I just have hot food in a pouch that I can eat and be about my merry business. And I will be eating it with this lovely Optimus long-handled spoon, titanium, lightweight, wonderful. I've been testing this out on a lot of things, been eating a lot of ice cream with it. Actually have been eating a lot of ice cream with it. It's probably should have been holding off, but fat boy's gonna be fat sometimes. And and other things. I've been testing this bag out to make some different meals that I might eat along the way, and I've been using this spoon to do it. It is pretty handy. Food bag. It is conveniently filled right now with a dozen bags of ramen just to hold on to it. I'm probably going to get a bigger one, to be honest with you. That's a cheap Chinese bag. I got a 3-pack for $9. They're all right, but I don't see it holding up on the long term. And these Sea to Summit bags, boy, those seams are real nice, and they just seem really well made. And so when I was at Academy the other day, I saw they had the 15-liter Sea to Summit bags. I'll probably get one of those. Up my game. And some P-cord, 30 feet. Use that for bear bagging. Not much else I need to say about that. Okay, let's talk about water system. I'm spilling all this stuff on top of itself. I don't have a whole lot of room to work with here. Let's move some of this off so I can have some space to talk about things. Get down there. Get off my bed. Shoes, you don't belong on a bed. Alright, so, okay. Water system. Got the old popular Sawyer Squeeze. I had originally intended on just doing the Aquamira. Part A, Part B. But I decided that I probably would be a lot happier with the Squeeze after watching a lot of videos, because, you know, it's just such an easy setup and easy use. Now, I mean, I'm still going to bring the Aquamira, because, you know, because I want it to be, I want to be backed up. You know, if this, you know, if something happens to this, and I need to be able to purify my water between where I'm at and the next place I can buy one, I want my backup. So I'm gonna have my backup. It's either that, or I have a life straw as well that I might pack. But we'll see. Life straw. I'm not really sure how I feel about it yet. So I have 1 liter smart water bottle. Look, so sleek, so long, so liter. Also, platypus bag. You ever seen this guy? Got a duck bill. 2 liter bag. Hurt. Hope you're not dizzy from that. I was just trying to display the whole thing like you've never seen a platypus bag in all these videos. So we got that. Get on there. And so this is going to comprise the bulk of it. I also I have this that I might use as the dirty bag that came with this. I also have a smaller 20-ounce smart water bottle that I might also that I might bring instead of this bag, because I've heard this bag doesn't really hold up too well, but we'll see. This does have handy instructions for backwashing and storage. Maybe I will. I don't know. Smart water bottle, platypus bag. I mean, it's 3 liters. That should be more than enough. I can't see myself needing more than that. Sawyer Squeeze. Aquamira. There it is. Alright, what's next? Toiletries. My little toiletries bag. Talk about all the little goodies in here. Well, it's pretty easy. We can just look at it. Dr. Bronner's got the 2-ounce. Had to get the peppermint. Wanted unscented, but, you know, get what you can. Toilet paper for all your toilet paper and needs. Toothpaste, a little travel thing. Got a little bag here with some Band-Aids and lip balm and things like that in it for all my fixing needs. Cut up toothbrush. Gotta shave them ounces, right? Yeah. That one's gonna get replaced because it's really old, but I put it there just so you could see it in action. And my Purell, which my buddy got me. I don't know if you can read that. I just shit in the woods. The hand sanitizer. Apparently they make something that's also called I just touched my genitals. I don't know. He got me that kind of for my birthday, which just passed. And to me, it's too funny not to bring. Eventually, it will just be a regular Purell. So, you know, standard toiletries. I'm not sure if there's anything else I need. Alright, I'm sitting down because I am becoming lazy. Alright, here we go. This is my electronics bag. Doot, doot, doot. Got my phone. Bing! 7:56 p.m. on February the 3rd. I have a Verizon little cheapo phone that I'm going to bring for any phoning needs. Got my little plug that goes into the wall. My Apple cord, because I have... Oh, I'm going to have to open it now. Dagblan it. Hold on a second. I got it. Alright. Got a Kindle. Gonna Kindle it up so I can do some readings. Get my smarts on. It's just the basic Kindle, no backlight or anything, because when it's nighttime, I ought to be sleeping or doing something else. And an OG battery. This is what I'm going to use to charge things up. This is 6600 milliamps. I don't know if you can read that. It works pretty good. I've been taking this back and forth to work and charging up like my GoPro that I'm holding on to, and I've used it to charge the Kindle and my iPhone and my regular phone just to kind of see. And it works pretty well. I get like 3 charges or so out of it, which ought to be fine. You know, ought to be fine. If I really need more than that, I can always up it. But you know, I'm gonna be in the woods. I don't need to be technologizing that much. My phone, my iPhone with a little case on it. Um, my plug for the. This is my USB to mini USB. So that's for the Kindle. That works for the Enoji, which has the USB and the mini. It charges with mini USB. And then, like I said, I got Apple cord and phone and the other wall plug. We talked about technology enough. Alright, get out of the way. Camp clothes. Rain gear. Got some Columbia pants. These are really amazing. I took these, put these on and wore them in the most torrential downpour Louisiana could offer up. There was even lightning, and I was a little bit scared, but not too much. I've seen worse. Rode my bike in worse than that, stupidly. And these things are amazing. Boy, I did not get a drop of rain on me. I'm sure the AT will do its best to prove that one wrong. I accept the challenge. And this is my rain jacket. It is a lovely, cheap Sierra Designs. Stuffed in there. I'm not getting it out. But I need to seal the seams on it. But it is a little $40 rain jacket, and I figured that's gonna be enough. It's I'm gonna get wet, and that's probably gonna keep me dry enough to not worry about it. If it doesn't, once again, I will do what I need to replace it. Get out of my crock. Funky stuff, man. What are you? Alright. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry you had to see that. That was terrible. Okay. We're almost done here, guys. Random bags for holding random things. A couple of the cheap Chinese bags. Those will be coming with me. I'm sure they'll have something in it, maybe my electronics or different things, but we'll see. I'm gonna find out what I'm really gonna be using those for. Sea to Summit. This one is an 8-liter, and this is gonna be for holding like my camp clothes and stuff. Keep those dry. My Lecky poles. These are the Lecky Makalu Tour. These are pretty nice. These are also something that I've had for over a decade. They are the telescoping ones with like the little spring on the inside, which I've had to do maintenance on before to keep them working spiffy and shiny. So no problem for me if something happens. I've already done the work. I can fix them again. It's got little rubber butts on them right now. Those are black diamond ones because apparently if you buy the Leckies, they want to charge you like $20 for a pair when you can just pay $5 for the same thing from Black Diamond. I don't know how that works, but well, I do, but I'm not gonna go into business. We're talking about fun here, guys. Fun. These have been pretty good. I got these really just for doing training around here in Louisiana, so that I'm not tearing up my carbide tips, which are, admittedly, that's really not coming off one-handed. The tips are a little old, and I'll probably have to replace those before the end of the trail, but we'll see. We'll see how that do. Alright. Excuse me, I'm starting to get a little stuffed up. And watch out. Last but not least, I have my bag with my lovely AWOL 2016 Northbound Guide. Do the mouth open again there. I'm going to be carrying that with a pin. And you've seen it. Everybody's seen it. One thing I did want to show off about this. So, I'm doing this so I can flip through it as well, and you can look at my beautiful face. One thing that I did with this, I bought the 2014, and I said, when I was looking at it, I was thinking, one of the things that, like, probably one of the only things, like, let me start off. Always start off with the good stuff, right? I was blown away with how amazing the guide is, because back in 2006 when I was doing my first big batch of research and like building momentum to go and do the trail, I bought and looked at every guide I could find to see like which one was going to be amazing. And of course, like my favorite was the Wingfoot. I thought it was a great book. But when I got AWOL's guide in my hand and I saw the profiles and I saw how they had the town maps and how everything was laid out, I was floored by it. I mean, this is really an amazing guide. If you don't have experience with other guides, this guide is like second to none. Uh, but that being said, the one thing that I did have a problem with it is that, and then that I have with most guides is there's certain information that you want to be able to find really quick. And sure, you know, if you're reading it, you should be able to like look at the little um, icons and stuff like that, and then and figure out what you're looking for. If you're like looking for the next, where's the next water source? Oh my God, we haven't had water in like 6 weeks. You can look in here. It'd be really easy to like find that water thing. The thing that I wanted personally was to be able to find things like that a lot easier. Particularly something like water. Like I want to be able to, when I look at the guide, I want to be able to like really quickly at a glance know there's a lot of water between here and wherever I'm going, or I might not see a reliable water source for 13 miles. That's important information, you know. And I don't drink coffee in the morning or anything like that usually. Not really a coffee person. Um, so sometimes anybody is a little fuzzy-headed in the morning, and it's easy to miss. So what I did, I will show you now, is I color-coded. So like on the mileages where there's water, I went ahead and color-coded it, marked it blue, and and then I also marked like I'll just show you real quick as an example. Like AWOL put in the little treasure things. I went ahead and marked that. That's just for myself. But the things that were important to me, I went ahead and I marked in this book. I felt like that was an important thing to do. The water thing, especially. I mean, I suggest anybody do that just because, look, frankly, the last thing you want to do, in my opinion, is, bleary-eyed one morning, you wake up and you're like trying to get your stuff together, and like you got some water the night before, but you don't look at it you don't look necessarily like grab the book and actually look at it real fast, and you think you see that there's water like a mile down the trail, when in fact it's an unreliable source, and the next reliable, because the only ones I marked were the reliable sources, so like the next reliable source might not be, like I said, for like 13, 14 miles or something. And if that's the case, then at a glance you want to be able to look at it and say, man, there's not any blue coming up anytime soon, and then that way you'll make yourself go and get the water. Maybe that's just a personal thing. I don't know. I thought it was a good idea. I thought I would share that with you. Anyways, I think that is everything. Real quick last note. Just want to let you know my base weight on this. Actually, my weight whenever I was carrying 2 liters of water, dose, and I was carrying that dozen packs of ramen, which isn't really, it's less than I'm gonna have, but I felt it was moderately comparable, at least like half of what I might be carrying for food. That was right at about 30 pounds. Base weight before that was a little bit less. I mean, like 24 or something. To me, that's a pretty good start. I know I'm going to pare it down, but we'll see. Anyways, it's been a long video. I thank you for sticking with me, checking it out. If you have any comments about my gear, what I had to say about it, what you think about it, if you have suggestions, anything like that, pop them down there. I want to hear them. Let's wrap it out, please. Also, If you enjoy this and you want to keep up with me as I go along doing my trip, feel free to subscribe. Love to have you along, and I hope you make it back for more videos with me. Alright, so thanks for stopping by, and shit, man. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.